What I will do, drop the mic, what coming in with EX6 videos for your retinas, my peeps. So right here we got Digimon coming in with the absolute swag, and you know this brother has got the Three Great Angels on the featuring track. That's how we do. And then in this actual video, right, it's gonna be a series of videos that you're gonna be dropping on the channel. And first off, we're gonna be starting off with more of my pet project list that I am having such great fun with, and that is really about turboing up into Digimon and putting in that work. So if this video for you as I go through my debt list ratios, all the good stuff, then stick around and enjoy. And if you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell because I do videos on the reg. So right here, let's get on to the ratios because I'm sure you guys are very interested in terms of what I'm actually running. So starting off with the eggs, we're going to keep it nice and simple, and it is going to be the BT14 Pokemon. This right here is going to be your main draw engine when you are recovering cards or effectively putting cards into your security. It is just absolutely crazy how much draw you do generate once you start getting Digimon out on the field. No need for any more because the way this deck kind of runs, it's effectively that obviously you can have your main stack, but then realistically you're going to be almost hard playing a lot of stuff down or playing stuff for free, which is always what we want. So that concludes for the eggs, solid 4. Going now on to the rookies, 10. Little low, but we do run quite a lot of consistent boosters in the deck in order for us to execute some power plays later on. So it's going to be the infamous Potato, which obviously the whole community is absolutely ruthless and getting banned, but right here Patamon is just key in order for us to basically cheat up into our level 4 from our security, and then gaining a memory off the back of that as well, which is always the worth. This is ideally the first card that you want to see in your hand, really, and basically the first card you want to see in raising, and then you're absolutely cooking. Then we do a bit of a 3-3 split on this bad boy. So then we go into the BT13 Kudamon, absolutely amazing searcher, gets out our Tamers that we want, and also can actually net us a yellow card with vaccine and trait. Always the worth. Inheritable, my god, it's so situational, very rarely comes up. When it does come up, it's happy days, but it rarely comes up. But we do run the free Luxmon here, so it's a 3-3 split. The reason why I do like Luxmon is because it enables us to potentially net 2 cards, which you can net an actual Angel or Archangel when we reveal top 3, and we can also gain a card with 3 Great Angels in trait, which is always beautiful. Our top end is basically that, and also we can basically get any piece of our line, which is fantastic. Then the Inheritable is great. It's just our nice little draw engine when attacking. If you are Angel, Archangel, or 3 Great Angels in trait, draw 1. Beautiful. That's what we want. And we keep it nice and clear cut with a solid 10. Then going on to now the champions. Champions, we just keep it nice and clean. We're running a solid 8. So it has to be our boy, BT14 Angelic. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You can't just go wrong with this. It's just an absolute staple when it comes to obviously the Angel decks right here. Digivolve of 2 on top of Patamon, but it does cost for 3 when you either on top of anyone else, which is not necessarily bad in this deck because we do generate a lot of memory. We have ways that we can effectively almost mitigate the cost by using cards to effectively reduce evos when we're climbing up online, which is not bad. So it's not bad if you have to evo on top of a Digimon that's not Patamon. But the thing that's really good is that you've got options in terms of play. Obviously you can do the when attacking and then, you know, basically delete yourself to minus 5k DP off of a Digimon, which is absolutely fine, and then you're able to trigger the deletion effect to basically put it into your security stack, which is always the worth. Or you can do the similar thing when attacking, but basically put a virus type Digimon at the top of the opponent's security stack, which is also great source of removal. And then on deletion there as well, you're able to also basically get an egg back out, well, basically hatch, which is always nice. It's always nice. Great tempo. Then we go in with the Gatomon right here, absolutely solid. Yes, it is out of the obviously out of the kind of the Angel archetype, but by Christ, it absolutely wants a spot in the deck because it just works well in terms of what Digimon does. On top of that, obviously, if it is if it is trash from your security stack, play for free, winning. If a card is removed from your security stack, gain the memory, winning. Also got barrier, winning. Inheritable barrier. How many wins can this cat take? Seriously, it's just absolutely stellar in terms of its application. Great target for when you are when you've played out your Cherubimon ace. It's just great. But I keep it nice and clear cut in terms of just the champions, because realistically, I'd rather run more options in order for me to kind of set up the plays and just go for that nice big burst turn is what I'm doing with this deck. So that concludes there for the champions. Solid 8. Now going on to the ultimates, we do also run 8, and I absolutely love this card right here. It is going to be the BT16 Magna Angemon. Absolutely stellar in what it does. Really adds a lot of tempo when you're climbing up to your top end, and if you've got the actual targets in your security, sheesh, it's just glorious, absolutely glorious. So it evos on top of an Angemon, and for the cost of 3. It does cost you 4 if you evo on top of Garamon, unfortunately, but like I say, we have cards that can obviously kind of reduce / negate that expensive cost. But it is also on play and when digivolving, and the on play, this is where it combos up beautifully with the Dominimon play, because Dominimon can play a level 5 or lower angel trait Digimon from your security stack, that's where the tempo and the high roll really comes in. But the thing that you're able to do is search your security stack, and then you may digivolve into a card with angel or 3 great angel traits, amongst them with the reduced cost by 2. So effectively you're going into your Dominimon or your 3 great angels for an absolute reduced cost of 2. So if you're going into your BT14 Seraphimon, technically it's only costing you 1, which is just chef's kiss right there. And then on top of that, if you've done this effect, what you can do is then add a card with Angel, Archangel, or 3 great angel traits from your hand to the bottom of your security stack. So once again, you're setting up those plays in order for you to effectively play out more Digimon if necessary. If you manage to evo into this and then effectively go into Dominimon, tuck in another BT16 Magna Angemon into your security stack, and then Dominimon's then going to be able to then trigger, play another BT16 Magna Angemon, do the cycle again. You can build up a whiteboard very efficiently. And then if it couldn't get any better, your inheritable, god man, Bandai, stop it. So opponent's turn, all of your Digimon with Angel, Archangel, or 3 great angel traits gain blocker. Beautiful, absolutely fantastic. So when you're kind of got that whiteboard, you've got blocker, so you're keeping your security nice and tidy right there. Please note though, Source Strip, very annoying. Start deck Magnamon, very annoying in terms of just knocking this card from your stack, meaning that you've not got that kind of, that block potential right there. So obviously keep that in mind when you are when you are obviously using this deck and you kind of clutching on having this inheritable in order to save your ass. Source Strip, Zudamon, absolutely disgusting. So then we go over to the other level 5. So we do it a nice little 2-2 split, and we do go with the Magna Angie Ace, and then we also got the Angewoman Ace as well. Realistically, you could literally just run 4 Angewoman Aces. That's definitely not a problem right there. The thing with this deck is sometimes that you can burn quite a lot of security, and I do like this just kind of restabilize. Or with Magna Angie Ace is that effectively I can play this out quite early and delete some pretty hefty bodies that might be out, and then just kind of turbo up into Dominimon, just to kind of get that bit of protection, which is always nice. I like this because it just gives me some options of play. The thing with Angewoman is that sometimes if you have 0 security, you can't necessarily get back into the game. She's just kind of useless at that point, but she's pretty much the strongest ace over Magna Angie because she can effectively keep you stabilized, which is very important right there. Very useful in what she does, able to strategy security from top or bottom. So if you've managed to plant out a, well, kind of almost place the Garamon in your security, blam, play it out for free. Always the worth right there. Absolutely love it. And what I'm going to be doing is going to be showcasing a more of a revelation focused build, which will be more heavily focused on the Angewoman Ace. So obviously keep your eyes out for that video when that drops. But that concludes for the Ultimates. We keep it solid 8. Now we go to the Megas. Megas hefty, but obviously with aces, it's pretty cheap and they do a lot. So it's alright to run a hefty package. So we do run 9. So starting off with the boy, it's gotta be our Digimon rocking at 3. You could easily run this at 4. I feel like 4 can be a little bit clunky at times, but realistically, you do want to be seeing this card quite early. This is near enough kind of like the linchpin of the deck, because it gives your angels protection, and even your three great angels protection. And it's not once per turn, which is just crazy good right there. But it's when Digivolving is where it really kind of comes in here, because this is where it helps you kind of build out that wide board, and it can really snowball as well, which is quite nice. So when Digivolving, search your security stack. You may play 1 level 5 or lower angel or archangel Digimon card without paying the cost. Huge. Absolutely huge. So this is the reason why we do run Luxmon there as well, because Luxmon just kind of adds that consistency if we don't see any other form of angel in there. But 9 times out of 10, you're kind of going for your aces to do some further removal if needs be, or just kind of restabilize your security, which always comes kind of clutch there too. And then you're able to shuffle. And then one of your opponent's Digimon gains minus 7k DP to the end of the turn. So always great stuff. And then the all turns is that if one of your angels, archangels, or 3 great angels would leave the battle area other than by one of your effects or battle by trashing a card from your security stack, you can prevent them from leaving, winning. And also it's treated as angel. So Digimon, brilliant card to be printed. Absolutely love what this boy is doing. Very key card, which you should be aiming for to get out first before you start playing out your angels, or your archangels, or three great angels, and so forth. So then we go in with the BT14 Seraphi. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I absolutely tried my hardest to make the EX6 Seraphi work. No, it's good, but it's very situational. This, however, is amazing in what it's doing. When you're rolling, recover, banging. And then all turns, this is quite crucial. Once per turn, when a card is added to your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 7k DP, and this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. Honestly, you wouldn't believe how good this card is either turn. Just that -7 is great. And if somebody's just going into security, banging. Really helpful. We have cards that effectively put cards into security. Angel Woman Ace, for example. If I'm below 3, blam. No, not even below 3. If I'm at 3 or below, Shazam. I get to recover, then I get to trigger this effect, and I get to minus 7k DP off the opponent. Really, really helpful right there. And also just great to have that nice bit of aggression there too, which is always fantastic. So we do run 2. Then we combo that up with the Cherubimon Ace. Cherubimon Ace, oh my days. Honestly, versing Magnum X, you're gonna need this girl. You're gonna need this girl for real. Also helps you build out wide there too. So once again, combos up with the Dominimon to kind of get built up super wide. Effectively, if you go and trigger BT16 Magna Angie, go into Dominimon, obviously tuck in a BT16 Magna Angie into security, do Dominimon's effect, basically play out BT16 Magna Angie from security, then go into Cherubimon Ace if you manage to then obviously tuck a or have a Cherubimon Ace in your security, evo into that for the reduced cost of 2, because naturally it would cost you 4, and then trigger is when Digivolving effect, which enables you to play out a level 4 or lower Digimon, which would obviously be yellow or green. Yellow or green? So much yellow and green. Yep, yellow and green, got it right. Yes, sir. From your hand without paying the cost. So effectively build out a whiteboard, and then depending on how many Digimon that you have out, you're able to neg 4k DP. So it doesn't include itself, but it includes the other Digimon that you've brought out, which is great. And it's to the end of the opponent's turn, which is obviously helpful when you are versing Magna X. So True on ace, fantastic. Also, just great to just almost just kind of throw out if you need to throw it out and just remove a body. Beautiful. Then we go in with the 1 of Phanimon ace there too. I really love this card. I actually really like it. It's a nice little extension on Angelic Ace in terms of the recovery effect, but the recovery effect isn't so much conditional to how much security that you do have. But you do have to remember that that effect is only on the opponent's turn. If it's on our turn, though, and we manage to trash or a security card is removed from our stack, we will gain security attack +1. So it's great for that kind of nice, a bit of aggression. And what you see with the trend here is that all of our 3 Great Angels has some form of aggression. We've got Alliance that Digimon Ace has, which obviously I can suspend one of my Digimon, gain the DP, and gain additional security attack. I've got Seraphimon BT14, which effectively, if I've recovered one, I gain additional security. And then finally, if something's removed, gain additional security. So you see a little bit of a trend here, which is always great. And then lastly, we do wrap it up with just a one-off ruin, just to kind of get rid of wide boards, if necessary, to stop, like, obviously the opponent kind of popping off next turn or raising out or whatever. And the thing that's quite good with room mode is that, one, it is quite searchable in the deck. We do have cards, a lot of consistency cards that can search out this card. We get to our level 6 quite efficiently, and we can basically, you know, make sure we have like a pretty decent wall. So when we do go to our room mode, it's all happy days. Obviously, there's a bit of a caution, is that if you do room mode on top of an ace and you happen to swing, you're going to be passing over guaranteed at least 4 memory, if not more, because obviously, you know, end of attack is got to kill itself in that sense. But the thing I like about having the BT14 Seraphi is that we're not solely, our top end is solely on aces in that sense. So if Seraphimon does get killed, we're not giving so much memory to the opponent and giving them that advantage, which is quite nice. So that concludes there for the Megas 9. So let's go over now to the options. So the options, very important in terms of what I'm trying to do with this build. And this is probably the bit where people be like, oh hell no, like turn it off, trash, whatever. I'm like, that's absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. Turn it off, you do you. But what I'm trying to do is really tap into how quickly we can get to our top end. So it's been a while since I've actually used Emissary, but Emissary, oh, what a drug. Absolute high roll supreme. I do like Emissary in this build because getting into Dominimon pretty fast can be somewhat troublesome for the opponent to deal with, which is always great. Our main premise with this deck is really utilizing our security in order for us to effectively build out wide, do what we need to do, and control the board quite efficiently. Being the main thing. I can't wait till we actually start getting some new Patamons, which the security effect will be more, you know, a bit more better. At the moment, we've just got one kind of primary target. But because we do run TK, effectively we are going to recover, meaning that, you know, we've got potentially a card that we can also leverage for future plays, or for future plays if I'm going to my Dominimon and so forth, when we're kind of popping off. So we do run 4. You could knock this down to 3 if you want to, but ideally you do want to kind of see this in your hand, because realistically it does help you cheat up your line. Say for example, if I had Angemon out and I swung, I died. Effectively, Angemon's going back into my security at the bottom. Say if I had a Kudamon in raising, I can at least comfortably feel like I can just go Emissary, I can go into Angie for the cost of 1 instead of the cost of 3. And then I might already have a BT16 Magna Ange in my hand, so I can go up my Evo line and so forth. So it's actually reduced the cost and really helped out being more memory efficient. Obviously, depending on what my actual Tamer setups are, effectively this play could really be free, which is quite nice. Like I say, I've not used Emissary for a while, but I do like what it's doing, and it is nice and does help out the deck or this particular build. Then we go in with the free yellow memory boost. Absolutely love to get memory boost, and I've always stuck with memory boost since I played the Revelation build, and it's still relevant now. People will probably think, well, why aren't you running trainings? Because effectively, you know, trainings, it enables you to get your emissary. You know, it makes perfect sense. The thing with yellow memory boost I like is that not being so restricted to evoing on top of something. Because 9 times out of 10, another line of play is that depending on how much memory you have, and this deck generates a lot of memory, effectively you can just hard play something down and still keep turning and be quite memory efficient that way, whilst disrupting the opponent's board being the main thing. On top of that, that Dig 4 is just fantastic. Being able to just get some of your key combo pieces is absolutely always the worth. So this is the reason why, like, I do like yellow memory boost over trainings. Then lastly, this is the bit where people go like, mother boop, but I like it. And I'm going to explain its application in very different scenarios, because at the moment people do think it's more of a win more card. And that's Final Excalibur run at 2. Technically, it is. Like, I'm not going to deny it. It is a bit of a win more card. But its application is so versatile and works really well with the deck. The thing I do like, and I think if it didn't have this in the security effect, I wouldn't even bother. Security effect, recover 1, then add this card to hand. So if they basically have calculated enough swings in order to end game, but this is my last security check, that's absolutely thwarted their plan. And what that means is that I can technically steal game if that scenario ever came up. On top of that, its actual main effect is very versatile in what it does. The bonus is that if you do have Digimon, you can unsuspend pretty much your whole line, or your Digimon, which is amazing. Like, that alone is some mad swings, because how wide this deck actually goes. But if we don't have Digimon, we can just use it to unsuspend one of our Digimon. Realistically, so for example, if Seraphimon's got security attack +1, I could go in for 4 checks if I wanted to, and just go absolutely ham, really putting the pressure on when I need to. So it's very versatile in what it does. Also, you can use it defensively. If you've managed to do some cheeky swings with whatever board state you've got, say if you've got 2 Digimon out, but you're like, okay, right, I've got blockers, bang it, but when blockers are suspended, I'll just pass them to 1, unsuspend my Digimon, and boom, leave it at that. So I'm now unsuspended, I can block twice, hopefully they don't goddamn strip my actual inheritable, and we're Gucci. So I do like Final Excalibur. Would I run it more than 2? Probably not. But at a solid 2, you only necessarily need to see 1 in order for you to basically wrap things up if needs be. As I mentioned before, my actual main top line is pretty much security attack driven. So if I am using this card, I am swinging for more, well, for more than 1 check, being the main thing. But I do like the security effect, because it does work quite well with BT14 Seraphimon. If it is out on field and they do check into this, effectively I've recovered 1, I can proc Seraphimon's effect to -7k DP, which is nice. But this can effectively be anything. Originally I did test with the Descent card. Sometimes I just felt like it was very awkward to play that card, and it probably, most likely, is a skill issue. I'm not going to lie, but I did find that, like, there was just never a right time or me having the right card in hand in order for me to really utilize the card. But like I say, probably a skill issue. But that then concludes for the options. Going for Tamers, and the thing I like about with this, and with the Revelation build, you run quite a lot of Tamers, but with this build, we keep it nice and clean right now. Solid 6, and it's just going to be our BT8 Kari. This effectively is almost like a the BT14 TK, but it's a memory setter, which we like a memory. If we can get set up to 3 memory, honestly, amazing. That pretty much secures Final Excalibur plays right there. If we happen to have our megas out freaking chilling, which is always great. 9 times out of 10, if you start at 3 and you've got a few TKs out, you're pretty much sitting at like maybe 7 or 8 memory when you start popping off, which is nice. Enables us to obviously extend our plays right here. And then lastly, we do just run a solid 4 of the BT14 TK. Just once again, an absolutely staple card right here. Sets up your security. Turn 1 play or turn 0 play if you're starting first, is going to be your Paramon. Just throw this down, throw the champion, happy days, you secured going up your line. And then if you have an emissary in your hand and you already know that there's 2 of your targets, in order for you to kind of high roll, you're eating. You are absolutely eating, and happens quite a lot in this build, for real. But that there concludes for the overall deck. Angels, which I'll probably call Digimon Turbo. let's just go with that, because you do get into it really fast. Game plan, you just want to get into Digimon, and then from there, that's when you go building out wide, get your aggression on. Absolutely stellar card that you want to go into. Obviously, Cherubimon Ace has so many different applications in order for you to control board, go aggressive, and then your Seraphimon Ace just really works well in regards to comboing up with your Anti-Woman in order for you to just kind of get rid of big bodies when it comes to their turn. The actual recovery is not conditional to 3 or less. It is just when a card is removed from your security stack, and if it's the opponent's turn, you do just recover. That is once per turn, but it is a really nice card. But effectively, you probably wouldn't run more than 2 in the Descent build. I think that's when you probably would flick to 2, because realistically you are going to be playing that option more. Obviously, if you want me to do a Descent focused build, let me know in the comments, because like I say, that was my original take on the deck of the direction I want to go. But I did feel like, for me, it didn't quite suit my play style so much. But I'm not saying it's not a bad build. It's a fun build right there. But Revelation will be the next list that I will produce, and Revelation build is probably the most competitive build that you can do of the Angels deck, just more because of how the format is, until obviously we get that kind of restriction list coming to target hopefully freaking Numemon, because god damn, it's been a mess for quite a while. But guys, that is your boy done. Let me know in the comments what you think of that build. Stay safe, stay fly, and I'll catch you next one. D-Dread off the mic.